Hello and welcome everyone. This is Lana McAra, Carb Addict, now Carnivore, and I am excited to be back today. It seems like we're on a roll. We've been doing now, this will be the third or fourth Sunday in a row for me after being out for a month because of Hurricane Idalia and all the damage that was done to my own house. So I'm excited today to be with Shawn Owens, the carnivore trucker. Shawn, welcome.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm excited. And also, I'm loving the weather right now. Here in Florida, it is so mild, gets a little chilly at night, like 57. And during the day, it's so amazing. I think that's why people move to Florida. It's for this time of year.
Yeah, this is like the best time of year for really anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate you coming on today. You are on the road all the time, with a few exceptions, and you were willing to donate a little of your afternoon, your free afternoon, to us. So I appreciate that.
Well, no problem at all. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, I'm in Dallas at the moment, so
So what was it that caused you to start a channel, a YouTube channel?
um, let's see. I think maybe 2 months into my carnivore uh, journey before I started my channel. But the main focus of my channel is to uh, like focus on truck drivers and their health, and trying to bring the carnivore diet to truck drivers, because this is like, if not the most unhealthy profession ever. you know,
Yeah,
there's I've gone on many rants on how unhealthy truck drivers are, and uh, at the truck stops I see guys more like morbidly obese hopping out of their trucks, and they have all this swelling around their ankles, and you know like clearly diabetic, and I just want to shake them and tell them there's a different way to do things. But that's what
absolutely.
yeah, that's why I started my channel, and to kind of document my journey as well.
Yes, I have so much compassion for that and for people in that vocation because my stepfather was a truck driver. My son also was a truck driver. He lasted about a year and a half, I think. But again, you're stopping at places that only have junk food and you're grabbing stuff on the go and all that. It's just terrible to try to take care of yourself, when you're traveling all the time. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
what was it that brought you to the carnivore diet initially? How did you find out about it, and what caused you to make that decision?
Well, I guess I'll start with my diagnosis with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I want to say back in 2018, maybe 17. Um, but the doctor had did the what's it called, ultrasound on my liver, and told me that I had the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and that it could be uh, changed or improved with diet, and that she was going to send me some diet recommendations for what I could do for my diet to help with it, and she never did. So
He
yeah,
never did.
no, that was a really bad doctor. I only saw her like maybe twice after that. But
Wow.
anyway,
Yeah.
so I decided to take things into my own hands and do my own research, and that's when I came across keto. I think it was Dr. Barry. I don't think he had started carnivore when I was looking at him yet. Thomas D. Lauer, um, maybe one other one, but like those were the top two that I was watching, especially Thomas D. Lauer. Um, so yeah, I started doing keto when I was over the road, and saw a little bit of success, maybe about 15, 20 pounds. And I was doing like one meal a day, and uh, compared to what I know now, what I was eating back then is horrible. I would eat like a big salad with like eggs and bacon in it, with like a vinaigrette, and then I'd have like my slow cooker with some whatever meat I felt like, with like Brussels sprouts and cauliflower. So I would literally have like one big meal a day, which was like basically soup and salad. And yeah, like I said, I saw a little bit of success with that. I did it, stuck with it for 2, maybe 3 months, and that's around that time is. Oh yeah, and I was also walking like an hour a day. But around that time is when uh, my mother got diagnosed with cancer.
Mm.
Yeah, and so I decided to quit my job and come home, and I stayed with her for 3 months before she passed. That's all. From the time that she had her diagnosis to the time she passed was a little bit over 3 months. So I
Wow.
didn't get much time with her. Um, but yeah, and so after she passed, I kind of went off the deep end for, I want to say, like 2 months, like drinking, smoking, binge eating, all that stuff. No drugs. Uh, but yeah, and then I kind of decided that I needed to get my life back in order, and that's when I got back into the truck, and um, 3 years later, I'm still in the same company that I started with after she passed. So yeah, and then I think it was January 2022. I had tried carnivore for a month, uh, which, by the way, I think I was watching Dave Zero Carb or No Carb Live. I was
Hmm.
watching Bella, Steak and Butter Gal, Lily Kane, Dr. Barry, of course, Sean Baker. Um, those are the top ones that I can think of that started to get me back into carnivore back in 2022. Um, so yeah, I did that. I started it actually the first of that year, and I quit smoking the first of that year too when I started carnivore. And yeah, like I said, the carnivore only lasted like a month. I saw some pretty good results again, uh, but I fell off once I got home. Because like I would stay out on the road for a month, and then come home for a week. And when I was home, I just fell off the off the carnivore wagon again. But luckily, I didn't start smoking again for a couple of months, but I still picked it back up. And then I ballooned up to my heaviest weight. Uh, so January 1st of this year is when I decided to start carnivore again, and again quit smoking at the same time. That was brutal. But I kept telling myself I've done it once before, I could do it again. And the carnivore this time has stuck. And I'm like, see, it's October, so I'm almost 10 months in. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting because I started carnivore 4 days before you did on the 28th of December, just before New Year's of this year. And I've heard a lot of people did. There's quite a few people around that same New Year that made the choice. So when you're on the road and you get cravings, what do you do?
I either kind of ride them out, uh, or I will stop and get. I call them cheats, but not really a cheat. I don't think. Like, it's right here. I had a little bit of strawberry, and I only had like three of them because half of them were soft and not really. Yeah, or get some cashews or something like that. But yeah, mostly just ride it out, or yeah. Um, Sorry, I'm trying to think. But recently, I did have a relapse, so I went a week with went full sad diet. So I did kind of cave into my cravings
Hmm.
recently. Yeah,
So
but
what
I'm
was
good.
it that triggered that? What happened that set you off?
Um, I think I just had a really bad week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So an emotional low, tired.
pretty
What?
much.
Yeah.
And you know how stressful truck driving can be.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I was emotionally eating.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
find that happens a lot when people get to the end. I heard it somebody talk about it this way. When you wake up in the morning, you have a certain number of pennies of self-control.
Hmm.
And so when you're going through your day, you're using them. You use them up. But if you have a stress situation that you need to manage, you're going to use up your pennies. You're going to use up your self control pennies. And then when it comes time for dinner, you don't have any left. And I really resonated with that because in my, before this life that I'm living now, I was raising 7 children with 6 boys, 1 girl, a very stressful marriage, and a lot of other outside stresses as well. Because my ex husband was a pastor, and we always had stuff going on, in the church and with the people and so forth, um, and health issues constantly with somebody, the 9 of us. Um, so I find that I hear that a lot where people have been through a bad day. There's fatigue involved, and that takes your pennies out too, because when you're trying to hold on and you're tired, you have to use more willpower to
Yeah.
just make it, right? So that's something, thank you for that, because I hadn't really thought about that piece until today, as much as I've been talking about cravings and all of that, which is actually a good reason to try to eliminate the need for willpower, because you don't know if you're going to have enough pennies left when you need it to be able to get through.
Yeah. And the carnivore diet really does take the edge off of most stress. I found that I'm more chill than I used to be. Used to be like you know I get to a like a delivery or one of my pickups, and let's say something went wrong with the scheduling, and I have to wait half a day, or I even lose out for that day and have to pick up or deliver tomorrow, like the next day, like stuff like that. Back when I was on the sad diet, used to be like world ending, like that's my paycheck, that's gonna, which I mean that's still true, but it's like I used to throw a fit over it. But
Yeah.
now it's like fine, I guess I can use take this time to relax or meal prep, or do something productive. So
Yes, that's been my experience too. I have lived with high anxiety for a
oh
long
yeah.
time, you know. It's just a miracle that I wasn't on medication, because if I'd have gone to the doctor for it, they would have put me on medication, but I'm too stubborn to go to the doctor. So I just tried to eliminate stress as much as I could to keep my anxieties down to manageable for me. But after I started the carnivore diet, my anxiety went almost completely away. And even when my house was hit with a hurricane and I had damage and I had to leave for a month, waiting for people, the people to come and fix it and the money and all that, I still was able to be fairly level. I think anybody would have been stressed out with no water, because I have a well. There's no electric, there's no water. Um, but not to the like nails screeching, hanging on by my fingernails kind of a feeling. One of the best things about eating this way is calm, and you can see it in the YouTube channels across the board. Everybody's so calm and they're so nice.
Yeah. Um, one thing I want to add real quick is the anxiety too. Yeah, I used to have high anxiety, and like there was certain times where I used to say it was part of the fun of being a truck driver, which is still kind of, thinking back, it was fun for that reason, was never knowing where you were going to go. But you also had that certain anxiety of like, okay, if I turn down this road, can I get back? Like, am I supposed to even be on this road? Type of thing. I have to go down this really sketchy place just to get to my delivery. And yeah, that was very high anxiety. And I remember I would always start smoking. I would always start chain smoking whenever I'd get that anxiety.
Hmm.
And now that the anxiety is gone, and I guess the nicotine addiction part of my brain has been just uh, you know down regulated because of the diet, that it helps. The diet helps really, really, really good. But yeah, it's just I'm just glad that I haven't gone back to smoking. Like I'd rather fall and binge eat like some ice cream or something than start smoking again.
Yeah, yeah. You're the second person I've talked to who had two things to overcome, carbs and something else. Dave Mack, he's very open about that, that he
Yeah.
stopped drinking alcohol at the same time. And you now talking about the smoking. It's interesting that this lifestyle helps with other addictions.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm still addicted to nicotine. I'm still addicted to alcohol. I'm still addicted to carbs and sugar.
Hmm.
Um, there, I do think. Okay, there's. I know I'm kind of going on a little tangent here, but some people can have to abstain. Some people can moderate. I'm discovering that I can moderate. Like, I did go on that binge eating week, which was like last week,
Hmm.
but I'm not beating myself up over it. And while I was eating all the junk, it was like I still had that hunger for the protein. So I was just like, all that food did for me was, oh, I get to eat something sweet, dopamine, but it still didn't scratch that satisfying. Like, it didn't satiate me like the carnivore food did. So I was having like a pint of ice cream next to a steak. So, but my point is, like, with that, it's just didn't do anything for me. So I was like, oh, I might as well just cut it out. It's just go back to the way I was. It's carnivore. And then I could still have a drink every now and then. Uh, I do not advocate for this, just to be clear, but I've smoked 3 times this year since being carnivore. I mean, I have some pipe tobacco in a pipe, like, within arm's reach of me right now, but I'm holding that until November when I go on my vacation. So just to be able to moderate myself and have those like admit that I still have those addictions, but keep them in the back seat and be like, I'll indulge this date for like tiny bit. So I just think there's something kind of empowering about being able to moderate. I know most people can't do it, and I don't advocate for what I'm doing, but it's just I don't know. It's kind of amazing to me, like going from someone who can't go an hour without smoking a cigarette to having tobacco on the truck within arm's reach. Like, I could do it anytime, but I'm waiting like a whole nother month before I allow myself to do it.
Hmm.
Uh, I just think, again, I think that goes back to the carnivore diet. I think that's like it's given me a lot of control in my life.
Yeah, I think and I'd love to hear your opinion on this. The fact that you are so satisfied, you feel so satisfied in your stomach, in your digestive system, it takes the edge off other things. Because if you're hungry too, or nutritionally deprived, where you're not getting everything you need, it's harder to resist other things along with food. Don't you think so? Did you get that?
Dang it. I'm sorry, I lost my headset.
Can you hear me now?
Come on, connect.
Okay.
Okay, say something.
Hello? No.
Uh, why did this happen in the middle of this?
Can you say something?
Is it plugged in? Did it plug in?
Okay, there it is.
That good?
Okay,
Okay.
yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I got a notification that it was dying, so I plugged it in and then it just disconnected.
Oh, I see. Okay,
I'm
no,
sorry.
it's all
I'm
right.
sorry about that.
I'll probably just chop that out of the middle. It
Yeah, we're
happens.
gonna have to.
I was doing one of these and I didn't have my cord to my laptop plugged in, and all of a sudden I get a sign, you're out of battery. And I had to jump literally before my laptop went away and we'd be done. There's no coming back from that one. Stuff happens. Yeah.
Yeah,
So what I was saying was, I think it's interesting that when your stomach is satisfied and your digestion is satisfied, it's easier to moderate other things that don't have anything to do with food. Because when you're hungry, then your willpower and control for other things also goes down.
yeah, I agree. Definitely.
Yeah.
I
So, what
mean,
have been some of the benefits besides food benefits or scale benefits that you've seen since starting this diet or this lifestyle?
well, I do have to mention the weight loss though. See, I think I've lost 50 or 60 pounds since I've been on it in this 10 months, and body composition wise, um, that's been huge. Like I haven't weighed this little since I was a teenager.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of the other things is like we've talked about a little bit is stress management. I'm not as stressed as I used to be. Um, pretty much as far back as I can remember, I've well, no, okay, I take that back. Since about puberty, I've struggled with depression. Um, yeah, that I hardly ever get depressed anymore.
Oh,
I mean, it still comes and goes every now and then, but it's not as bad as it once was. Um, I've noticed certain foods kind of bring on depression too.
oh,
Like
really? What would those be for you?
um, if I overdo it on dairy, specifically kefir,
Mm,
yeah. Um, I think onions do it too. I'm not quite sure.
wow.
I only had onions that one time, and yeah, I didn't. I regret it.
Okay. Well,
um,
that's interesting because I had serious issues with depression,
mhm.
and I used to eat onions every day, fried onions with just about everything, when I was making spaghetti or making a meatloaf or whatever, I'd always have onions. Huh.
Yeah, in very small amounts, I think I can handle onions, but um, I had stopped at a truck stop and got a ground beef taco, which I thought was safe. Just eat the stuffing from the tortilla, but there
Mhm.
was onions mixed in it as well, and that's what did it to me. Like the next day, I was just you know,
Wow.
but it could have been cooked with seed oils too. There's no telling. So
Yeah, I actually bought some onions after I started the carnivore diet, and I could not cook them. Every time I went to get one, I just couldn't put it in. I don't know what it was, but I'm really in tune with my physical reactions. And when I felt that, I thought there's something in there that I should not be eating. And so I ended up, they sprouted, eventually they
oh,
sprouted. And I got rid of them.
um, one thing that I noticed, I still eat them, is mushrooms. I've noticed like when I'm like a couple hours after I eat them and I'm starting to digest them, I feel my liver kind of flare up a little bit, like it was when I was had the fatty liver. It's one thing I've noticed about mushrooms. I still eat them. I still love them. It's like it's not it's not enough of a discomfort to deter me from eating them.
Uh, yeah. So I know everybody's wanting to know,
Uh-huh.
how do you prepare food on the road? How do you make plans for food on the road?
Well, I could show you right now. Actually, still have uh, some of my meal prep out, and my headset died again. That's annoying.
Huh. Can you hear me? Can you just use the computer thing? Can
Oh,
you hear me?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm back. I'm just going to show you my food real quick.
Yeah.
So I cook in a cast iron, and I have
Wow. Now that looks great.
yep, it's just ground beef. I have a I have an induction skillet, so I use that to cook my cast iron, and then I also have 1 second.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I could cook about 5 pounds of ground beef in this at a time.
Okay. So when you're stopped, you prepare some food and then you can eat on that.
Um,
Is that what
usually
you,
at the end of the night.
pardon me?
Usually at the end of the night.
Oh, at the end of the night.
Yeah, I'll meal prep for the next day, and
Okay.
just put it in the fridge.
Yeah, that's amazing. Most people don't have that when they have a vehicle.
Well, I also have a 3,000 watt power inverter, so that's about as good as you can get on a truck. Uh, they do have smaller ones. Like I have a I have another one, like a backup power inverter that's only 2,000 watts. That thing will not power the induction cooker, but the 3,000 watt will. So that's
Mhm.
nice. Yeah.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Now I have taken a crock pot to a hotel room before. If I was going to be somewhere for a couple days and I knew I was going to want something. Um, but yeah, that's interesting. So if you have the mindset to make your plans to get food and then to use your time to cook the food, yeah, it's just a matter of being willing, right? Being willing
Yeah.
to put in the effort.
Yes. There's a practice that I do, uh, like kind of a mind trick practice, which I guess I should have brought this up when you asked what I do to deal with cravings, but yeah, anyway, is like if you're having cravings or you want to do something drastic, uh, wait an hour or wait a day, see how you feel.
Oh,
Yeah. So like if you're having cravings, just wait an hour, see how you feel. I used to do that with when I was quitting smoking too.
that is such a good, that's a good point right there, because our tendency is to just dive in right now because I feel this way right now. But I find that just changing my activity, if I'm doing something and it brings up some memory or some, habit that I used to have, if I go outside or if I, just change up what I'm doing and get to another location, start doing something else, that just kind of it just kind of dissipates. It just goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of explaining my point a little bit better. Like how you were talking about going to the store and just grabbing something over spending an hour or two meal prepping. Um, like use that hour that you were thinking about, like use that hour to meal prep instead of just thinking about, do I really want to get something quick and easy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. What a great point. And it's so simple. Just
yeah.
wait. Just wait.
Just wait and
Something else.
use your time more wisely.
Yes, right, right. And there's gratification at the end of it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You're not just denying yourself. Yeah.
yeah. The steak or the ground beef, whatever. I could tell you from experience is better than the ice cream. It,
Absolutely. Absolutely. At the end of every supper time, I would eat a meal and then I would prowl through the kitchen all night. Eat something, go back and see what else. Eat something, go back and see what else. And that was not satisfying. I was never satisfied. Well, now I know, looking back, my meal didn't satisfy me. And part of my problem was I wasn't getting enough nutrition.
yeah, I bet you that your meal and your snacks were majority carbohydrates as well, right? Yep,
Yeah, yeah,
that's why. That's why.
yeah, absolutely. I always told everybody I'm not a meat person. So I would eat a little meat, a lot of starch, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, all that stuff, and then a little bit of vegetables. So yeah, I was loading up on the carbs and wondering why my blood sugar was, up and down all the time, thinking that, I'm pre-diabetic or something because my blood sugar is just going wacko all the time. But actually, I was just doing the wrong thing. Yeah. As soon as I started doing the right thing, all of it just went away and just stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. My mom, pretty much everybody in my family has had diabetes. Um, luckily, I did my DOT physical for my license like last month, and they did test me. They did test my blood sugar, and it was just fine. So I'm happy about that. And my blood pressure was fine. That's about as far as the vitals that they check for your license. But yeah, I'm happy about that. I haven't gotten my labs done yet. I haven't gotten my labs done in about 4 years because, well, I left that doctor who didn't give me my uh, my diet advice for my fatty liver. I haven't.
Now we
She
know.
left
Now we
was
know it probably wouldn't have mattered anyway.
right. She probably would have told me to eat more bread or something stupid.
Stick to that food pyramid. That's what you need.
Yep.
Yeah. And when I think of it now, all those years when I was making breakfast for my kids, and I always cooked a hot breakfast. for my kids because I believed that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I believe that wholeheartedly. And to think I could have just saved all that energy, all that money, cooking, because I was making biscuits and pancakes, the whole thing. It wasn't meat. It sure wasn't meat. Um, and that was just so bogus. Now, I wish I could go back, 30 years and make those changes, and my kids' health would be better today as adults, if I had known what I know now. But I've only been doing this for 1 year. It wasn't like it's been even 5 years for me. But my mother
Right.
was diabetic, and I figured that was in my future. I just assumed, that was going to be in my future at some point, but no.
Yeah, me too. Especially looking at my grandpa, uh, my maternal grandpa. He smoked for as long as I knew him. Like you know, um, I think he quit smoking about a year or two before he passed, and then he passed from pneumonia in the old folks home.
Hmm.
But yeah, I always had the mindset that I was gonna pretty much follow in his footsteps, and now that I've broken free from that, it's kind of like, you know, but I do wish that I knew what I know now back when I was like 20 or something. Uh, it would just be interesting to see how different life would be if you knew that knowledge.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the surgeries and some of the other things that we've been through, maybe wouldn't have happened, and so forth. But then on the other hand, God has a plan, and you can't really, when it was time for us to find out about it, we found out about it. And I'm just so thankful now. And oftentimes in the comments, when I'm reading other people's stories, I just put, thank God for carnivore. Just thank God we know about it now. We can start from today, pick up and go forward, and life is better almost immediately. Within 2 weeks, I was feeling like a new person.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy how it works so fast.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. And then, after a month or 3 months or whatever, my eyesight got better. I actually passed my driving test this time without my glasses. Unbelievable. Your eyes don't get better. That's what they tell you. As you get older, your eyes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, when I passed my driving test.
You know, it's kind of funny. When I was growing up, when I was a kid, I had glasses, and then I hit my teens and rebelled. I was like, I don't want to wear glasses and all that. And and now when I do my vision test for my license, I have 20/20. I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah, one of those amazing things, one of those anomalies.
Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of. Speaking of that, like even before I got before I started carnivore, I haven't been sick since the before times when I got the unspecified virus
Hmm.
back in like 2020, and I haven't been sick since. It's kind of crazy,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
carnivore just kind of or like boosted my immune system too. Like I don't even get a cold or sniffles or hardly any allergies.
Yeah. So, yeah, same here. The only time I've really had anything is I had a tickle in my throat for a few days one time, but it never really developed into anything. So I think my immune system just took it out, before it ever happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, cholesterol plays a huge part in your immune system as well.
Mm.
So,
So many things do that we have been told are bad for us.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Shawn, thank you so much for the time today. Is there anything you'd like to leave us with? I'm going to put your link below, and
Okay.
I'm going to also send you an image, a thumbnail to just to let your community know that you're going to be here.
Okay.
Yeah. So if there's anything you'd like to add, before we wrap up.
Well, like I said, my whole channel is about bringing health to truck drivers, and there's a better way. You just have to get off of the junk that they sell at the truck stops. On my channel, I just did a review of a good truck stop that has good carnivore options. So there's ways to do it out here. You know, the truck driver as a profession is the most unhealthiest profession in America, most likely. And we keep America rolling, we keep America healthy, but we don't care about our own health, and that's what I'm here for. So every Sunday I do a live stream talking to different carnivores, and I try to find there's 3 other carnivore truckers that I talk to as well. So I'm not the only one out here.
That's great.
Um, so yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Mentioning truck stops, and have you been to Buc-ee's?
oh yeah, I live
Oh
10 minutes
man,
from one.
I went the first time when I went to Atlanta for an event, and I was driving up there with my sister, and she's like, "Have you been to Buc-ee's?" I'm like, "No, I haven't." Oh my God, they had the best meat. It
Yep,
was,
yep,
yeah, there's three big burly dudes back there chopping up the meat. It was awesome.
yep.
Yeah, I got 2 pounds and took it with us because we were going to be at a hotel. I needed something. It was fabulous. It was wonderful.
Yeah, Bucky's is pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much. And we'll talk again soon, I'm sure.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.